Hey everyone, Andres here, and today I am going to be doing another ranked video. Here I am again. I'm going actually to be ranking Gojira's albums. I recently listened to The Link. I don't know why I had never actually listened to it fully through, because I really liked it. I really enjoyed the album. You guys know what ranked is. If you don't, go check out my other videos. I explain what ranked is in those other ones. Alright, Gojira. Let me talk a little bit about Gojira first. I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of a bio before I actually start ranking all of the albums, just to, you know, get a little bit more meat in the video. Gojira are a French band, started out in the early 2000s. Like, they started getting big in the early 2000s because the whole nu metal craze was going on, and they were basically the contrary of nu metal. They're not nu metal, and they sound quite different to nu metal, and I think that's what appealed a lot of like the metal elitists to actually like Gojira, because they have that heavier sound, that thumpy, sludgy sound to some extent. It's not necessarily as sludgy as, say, Mastodon, for example, but I do think Gojira have a little bit of a heavier sound than nu metal bands. Anyways, their first album, which actually in this case is actually number 6, is Terra Incognita. Terra Incognita is a good album. For the record, Gojira has never made a bad album. They started out strong. It's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong album, but I don't think it's the best. It's just kind of okay. There are some really great songs, especially whenever you're listening to it, you're kind of expecting it to be a little bit of like a worse The Link, basically, which honestly it is, but it's just really good. Number 5 is actually going to be really controversial, I think, because a lot of people really love this album and a lot of people don't like it. I'm one of those people that don't really enjoy it that much. I don't really see why Magma is such a big craze. I really don't understand. Magma, I know it was kind of a weird spot for the band because they were just getting over a death in the band, I believe. I just don't see it. I don't see what's really appealing about Magma. I know that it's supposed to be like a more laid-back Gojira, even though it's still really heavy. But I'm not too much of a fan, if I'm being honest. I don't enjoy it that much. I haven't gone back to it in 2 years. Like, I did listen to it to make the rank, but that's about it. Number 4 is going to be The Link. The Link is basically, as I said, is basically Terra Incognita 2.0, but it's still like the slower tempo kind of Gojira that we can still be really fucking good, but I think that staying at that lower tempo for the entire album doesn't do the album too much of a service. Honestly, there isn't too much special stuff going on in The Link, other than possibly Gojira's heaviest song, which is Remembrance. Number 3, L'Enfant Sauvage. I'm aware that this is a weird pick. I know a lot of people have this as their favorite Gojira album, and I know a lot of people have, I don't know, For Mars to Sirius as their favorite Gojira album. I personally don't have L'Enfant Sauvage as my favorite album because, again, I don't like that Gojira sludgier kind of sound, I guess you could say. So L'Enfant Sauvage, it's a great album. It's really fucking fun to listen to, and you can go back and just listen several times and you'll never get tired of it, honestly. I mean, it hasn't happened for me. I haven't really gotten tired of it, thankfully. Number 2 is going to be The Way of All Flesh. The Way of All Flesh was my first Gojira album. It was also one of the first metal albums I listened to, along with, as I said in Trivium, Ascendancy, Ashes of the Wake by Lamb of God. They were like the 3 big-ass metal albums at the time. In the scene from where I'm from, Gojira is just big as fuck, and a lot of people were also really into Trivium, and some of my friends started getting into Vengeance Falls and that kind of stuff, and so I listened to Ascendancy, and in the case of Gojira, a friend got in Flying Whales, or I did, and I decided to listen to them because fucking Flying Whales, and that's what I'm gonna get to next. From Mars to Sirius is number 1, obviously. I'll just go on a limb, say From Mars to Sirius is number 1. It's Easily one of the most perfect albums of all time, in my opinion. There isn't a bad song. There is there like every single song is good. Every single song is above an 8 for me, and that's something you don't find in an album. You may think maybe Ocean Planet is not a big, it's not the best song, but still you have Backbone right after it, which is it's fucking insane. And then you have like 3 songs that just go one after the other. The Heaviest Matter of the Universe, whales and stuff. Like there's so much groove. It's also delicious and so it's packed with energy, and the drumming of Mario Duplantier like runs an entire marathon in this. He's just going at it. He's going at it, and he doesn't stop. It gets me really pumped. Every single time I listen to that album, it's like, oh, just bring me back, please. That's my Gojira ranking. It may have been a little bit shorter this time, but they don't have that many albums. I don't have too much to say about Gojira other than From Earth to Sirius, The Way of All Flesh, and L'Enfant Sauvage are some of the greatest albums I've ever listened to. And From Earth to Sirius is one of my perfect albums. I do have a list of perfect albums, so if you're interested in seeing that, please leave that in the comments below. Album ranking. Alright guys, that's it for the album ranking today. I know it was shorter, it was kind of more jam-packed. They tried to put a shitload of information in. I just don't have too much to say because they just don't have any actually bad records. It's just that some of them are just not as perfect. So yeah, if you guys really enjoyed this, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, if you could subscribe, and if you could comment. That would be really awesome, and it really helps me out. I hope you guys have a great day, and stay metal.